America, Kansas City, also the heart of college basketball.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the 2025 Big 12 Women's Basketball Media Days. We are live at the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, Missouri. Now, today we're going to interview some head coaches with women's basketball players, and they'll be on the set right here just in a little while. Of course, it's going to be lots of fun. And welcome. So will be interviewing a lot of women's basketball players with their head coaches.
That's all. Top to bottom, as we have seen in the Big 12, should be a fantastic season.
Yeah, this is going to be a season where we could see someone go from 8-1. You have a lot of teams that are coming in with star power, with returning players. We got 4 teams already in the top 25. My question is, who's going to make it to the Final Four this year?
It's been a while.
It's been a hot second for the Big 12, but I think this could be the year. You look at
we on ESPNU for this today's event.
Iowa State, the transfers that TCU
and
got
this
in
will last until
size. And there's so many teams, as you said, you go down the line.
It will last until 3 o'clock.
So I'm excited to be here.
So it's not that long.
We can talk about Baylor, Oklahoma State, Kansas State. It doesn't stop because the Big 12's motto is a different league, and it's going to be a different.
We're going to interview all the teams with their head coaches as well.
Final Four, and I see somebody really making a big run. So we got top talent, top coaches, top fans. The list goes on and on.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a fast-paced league and a fast-paced day.
Okay, around 11:10. Well, probably last an hour ago, the BYU, then around 11:20. Iowa State University, 11:40 a.m. Cincinnati, 11:50 a.m. Oklahoma State, Houston at noon. Colorado, 12:10. Baylor, 12:20. Well,
In Kansas City, we've got some of the best talent in the country lined up to talk to. The Big 12 preseason player of the year, Audie Crooks, is on deck to go along with 3-time All-American Olivia Miles, who will make her TCU debut, and the reigning Big 12 freshman of the year, Delaney Gibb, out of BYU. All 3 of those players primed and ready for a great season.
It'll be a lot of fun. There are dogs here as well.
Oh, there are puppies
there are puppies here. They might be petted before the day is over here on the set.
We're a little distracted over there. Yeah, a little bit. They're all about this big. We got to take one home with us.
Just a few of those. We will do that. Again, busy day today. And when it comes to AP teams from the Big 12 in the preseason rankings, it's led by Iowa State, picked behind TCU in the coaches poll, but the AP giving them a little more credit. Bill Finley returning 9 players. You mentioned preseason player of the year, Audie Crooks of Baylor. 28 wins last season, 6 players back. TCU, a school record, 34 wins in that Elite 8 run a season ago. And Oklahoma State, first preseason top 25 sitting in 10 years. So, and Iowa State returning a lot, a team that got bounced out early in the NCAA tournament, certainly looking for a little redemption this year.
That's right. And there's 2 main things you need to know about the Cyclones. First, we got to start off with Coach Bill Finley. He has over 800 wins. Okay, he knows how to win. Then, on the other hand, you have elite talent. You have Audie Crooks and Addie Brown. They are the returning Big 12 points and rebound duos. 39 points and 15 rebounds. So that inside presence is huge. Oh, and then throw in some of the best fans in the nation, over 10,000 per game. They're looking to create championship players and championship coaches into a championship season this year. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch the Cyclones.
And then you look at what they're doing, obviously bringing players back. They got the experience. I think Iowa State is that one team that has just almost been there. The last few years, they're so close, right? I think a player like Jada Williams, a transfer, who we'll get more into later, could be that missing piece that they needed to complement Audie and her team.
Baylor, 28 wins a season ago, picked as the 2nd best team according to the Associated Press. They beat 4 ranked teams last year. Lots to be excited about.
So much. And you think about the fact that they brought back 70% of their scoring, or they replaced 70%, I should say, with almost 60 points a game. That's a big deal because a lot of times you lose scoring, but you don't get anybody back. And what they are keeping, Dariana Little Page Bugs, all Big 12 first team member, Bella Font-Ore on the all-defensive team. That is the calling card of Nikki Collin and this Baylor Bears team. They love to play good defense. So they reached the 2nd round of the tournament last year, then they add a great portal piece in Talia Scott. who has SEC experience at Auburn and Arkansas. She can score. And
Hey, we're also going to talk a little bit more about Talia Scott, but another transfer from Auburn who I really like is Yuting Deng. She only played in 13 games last year for Auburn, and she's from China. She doesn't speak the language that well, but she speaks the language of hooping and making buckets because she averaged
Right?
12 points in the SEC. So it's a lot of fun to watch her and see her going into the Bears.
Baylor, very accustomed to being in that preseason top 25, nationally ranked. TCU is not. First time in the preseason top 25 in 22 years and their highest preseason ranking ever.
Well, I'm calling TCU Talent Central University because they just get ballers. That is what is going on with the Horned Frogs. And they have the biggest turnaround in women's basketball in the last 2 years. They started out 1-14 2 years ago when Mark Campbell came in. And then they won the Big 12 tournament with 34-4 last year. And then, oh my gosh, all these players we have to talk about. The list is so long.
I'm telling you, right now TCU is like as big as it gets. 4 players, 6'7" or bigger. I mean, we're talking about women's basketball. So you got the trees down there, plus the magician, Olivia Miles, about to work her magic up here in the Big 12. I think I heard her say she wanted to average a triple-double. I thought I caught
Okay,
that.
we'll confirm that later.
Yeah,
Give
we
us
sure
a-
will. Oh, we sure
Here
will.
for that.
with us in a little bit. And then Oklahoma State rounding it out for teams in the top 25. First preseason top 25 ranking in 10 years and well earned.
I think this is a promising season for Oklahoma State. You know, they were not ranked as high as they wanted to be last year, made their moves. And, you know, I think what they're bringing back, Junior Stanley Hurd, a first team, all Big 12 member herself. You got some more experience. You got into that first round of the NCAA tournament. Now what can you do with the pieces that you have, plus the new pieces coming in place? Again, it's the experience for me. It's being able to come into this league and know the kind of competition it's going to be every night. These teams beat each other up, and they love every minute of it.
And Oklahoma State is so tough to play in. They only lost one game last season at home, and you mentioned Staley Hurd. Her and Micah Gray, they drained 142 threes last season, and they're both going to be on the court with a number 7 in the nation transfer portal class. So a lot of new pieces. I think this team is going to be very deep and hungry for the Cowgirls.
And West Virginia just on the outside looking in there for teams trying to sneak into that top 25. Speaking of rankings, top transfers, and you mentioned it when talking about TCU, Olivia Miles, who you thought at Notre Dame, okay, she'll back or she'll go to the WNBA draft, maybe be the number 2 overall pick. Instead, the multi-time All-American says, you know what, I'm going to TCU, and what a big win for the Horned Frogs in the Big 12.
Yes, I mean, you're getting somebody who understands how to manage the game, how to set her players up, and how to bring fans to the stands. I think that's one of the most exciting parts about getting Olivia Miles is her showmanship, the ability to just create instant energy in this gym, not to mention her talent. You know, I feel like, again, with the size surrounding her, what she's going to be able to do off the pick and roll, the great passes and the finish. Olivia Miles is perfect for this conference. It, you know, was a surprise to see her land at TCU, but I think everybody here is happy to see her.
And you, to your point, Brooke, is Coach Campbell's system is he wants to get players ready for the WNBA. They run a lot of pick and roll actions, and they are always out in the open court. He's like, I want to score 100 a game, and that's exactly where Olivia Miles can thrive. Another one, just real quick, is Audie Crooks. And guess what? A summer they had together. They played in the America Cup down in Chile. Also, were in Unrivaled for an NIL deal. So 2 of the superstars right there. You're seeing them in Miami, Brooke.
You love to see it. I mean, these 2 are going to be super pros anytime soon, and
Very
Unrivaled.
different hairstyles.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
They will very complement each other. Olivia Miles, certainly a big-time transfer. Not the only transfer that has come into the Big 12 to add to the star power of this league. Talia Scott, who you mentioned, who is in her 3rd team in 3 seasons, dealt with that wrist injury. Hopefully she's healthy this year. She's averaged more than 20 a game in her career game. Marta Suarez, 3rd school, Tennessee Cal, now TCU. Haley Timmer, South Dakota State transfer. She can really fill it up. And you mentioned Jada Williams replacing Emily Ryan there at point guard. Led her team in scoring, assists, and steals per game after 2 seasons at Arizona.
Well, I'll talk real quick about Talia Scott. They say sick 'em down in Baylor because you're going to be sick of how many buckets she can get. She averaged 22 points as a freshman in the SEC. She's healthy now, and she's going to be a big addition for Nikki Collin and the Bears.
Yeah, she likes to get those buckets, and you love to see it. And I think Jada Williams, you mentioned it, led her team in points, assists, and steals. So I think she's going to be the player to really make that magic work. Cannot wait to see how she and Audie complement each other in the post.
Exactly. And it's going to be a player that Iowa State's not had before, just so quick, fearless, and a lot of good vibes. Their personalities even match off the court.
A lot of teams looking to build off of last season. A lot of teams looking to rebound from last season. Again, we will hear from every team, every coach, the notable players throughout the 3 hours we are on the air today. And we begin with BYU straight ahead. Talk to the head coach, key prospects. We have just begun here in Kansas City.
How's my little champ doing?